Hey guys, today we are doing a video on the Provid, I believe that's how that's pronounced, dash cam. This dash cam records in full 1080p, takes a little micro SD card, and there's a list of other features that you can see on the box here. So it has automatic accident detection, so if you bump into something with your car, this will automatically record a clip. It's time stamped, doesn't have a speed as far as I know stamped on the video footage. It does have night vision, it's a wide angle lens and auto on off, so when you get in your car and turn the power on, it's going to turn this dash cam on as well. Like I said, it takes a micro SD card and it can sense the G, so actually it might actually know your speed, but we're going to figure that out later. And of course you can program it in multiple languages. This dash cam can be orientated in a couple different ways, so it can tip the wide angle lens up and down to a couple different positions, but overall it is designed to just be stuck on your windshield and point out the front of the car. It's not really meant to look into the car, just out to your front view as you're driving. It's one of the cheaper but highly recommended dash cams on the market, so I'm gonna give it a try. It was, I believe they're like $50 retail, so this is something that you can pick up for relatively cheap, and it could save your ass in an accident where no one really knows who to blame. You can take the footage from your camera and get yourself off the hook. What you see here is pretty much what the camera comes with in the box. You get the camera itself. It has a full color display on the back. I have ran this. It is small, but it's very clear, easy to see what's going on the camera. The controls are a little confusing, but if you fool around with it long enough, you can figure that kind of stuff out. On the back here, there's a comm input. I believe that's for a microphone if you want to have a mic, but I'm fairly certain it records audio regardless. From what I've read online, it will record audio, but if you want an external mic, I guess you can plug that in. And it is powered by a micro USB. It comes with a very long 12-volt adapter with a micro USB, but the downside with this is obviously you need to use up one of your 12-volt slots, when this camera could be powered by a USB connection if you had the proper cord. So it's kind of disappointing that it doesn't come with an option for both, it just comes with this, but we're gonna go out and get a new cord for this, nice and cheap, to install it a little more cleaner. I am going to do a kind of a tutorial on the install on my Ford Focus. You guys can try it out on your own vehicle. It will be slightly different, obviously, if you don't have the exact same vehicle, but as far as wiring it up through the roof of the vehicle down through an A-pillar, it's not that difficult. It is fairly similar on all vehicles, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it, and I'm going to wire it to my car's built-in USB. The camera also comes with this little back cover that is meant to kind of hide the cord, so your cord won't be seen going up to the roof. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this or not. I think what we'll do to start is we'll install it with just this, and then we may add the back portion afterwards. If you're wondering how these come off, these like sticky plates, they it's a bit of a pain, but they clip in, so you can stick that piece to the window, and you can remove this piece to take the camera on and off. Although I believe you'll have to remove this one and then remove the camera, which kind of adds some difficulty if you want to get the camera down quickly and get to your footage. So like I said, I'm going to start with just installing the camera, and if we want to cover those wires up with the extra 2-inch block there, then we'll go ahead and utilize that. But right now what I'm going to do is find myself a new cord at my local cheap electronics store, and then we'll go out to the car and we'll begin the little tutorial on how to install this nice and cleanly. One more feature with this camera I want to mention to you guys before I forget. It does have a small battery built in, so you can run it without the cord in case you need to get out of your vehicle and record something to add some evidence to your case. As you can see, it does have a fairly clear display. You can see my dog's feet and my foot down there, so it will record without being plugged in. It is right now, it's recording. I currently have it programmed to record audio, and it's recording in 3-minute loops, which you can see there with that little 3. It's really hard to see on camera, but it's going to record in 3-minute loops. So every 3 minutes, it's going to start a new 3 minutes, and then if needed, if something happens, I can save that footage, and I'll have a 3-minute block to use as evidence in my case, in the rare case of an accident. That's pretty much the camera. I need to look through the instructions a lot more to understand these buttons a bit better. I held this one down and it started up Wi-Fi, so you can actually hook this up to your phone and look at your footage through your phone as well. But yeah, I need to read the instructions a little more. That's basically the walk around of the camera. When we get back, I'm gonna have some more information on how to operate it a little better, and we're gonna start the install. Okay guys, to start the install, I got myself the USB line that can hook into my car instead of using a 12 volt. I'm gonna open this up. I've already removed the A-pillar cover. As you can see, if you want to remove that on your car, you may need a vehicle pry tool. I was able to just gently pull it off with my hands. So what I'm gonna do is run the wire from about here. I think I want the camera to sit behind that mirror to kind of block it from my view, just to kind of put it out of mind so I don't see it when I'm driving. And I'm gonna wire it up into the roof liner, down and around the A-pillar down there, and then it's gonna go in behind the steering wheel, down around my footwell here, and then into my center console where the USB is sitting right there. So I'm gonna get started on that, and then once I have it set up, we'll clean the glass off and mount the camera up, but I'll get back to you guys before I do that. I'll just quickly fast forward me finagling this wire through the car. Okay guys, so I've gotten the wire through. It's not quite as long as I would have liked it to have been, but that's the general idea of what we've got. It's close to the rear view mirror. I did want it to go a little further, but I do like that the wire is fully concealed in that position there. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and pull the trigger on this one. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to wire it into the center console USB because the camera thought that it was connecting to a computer thanks to the forward sync in this focus. So what I ended up doing was put a USB adapter in the 12 volt, which allows more than one USB to connect. That was kind of my whole point behind it, was like I still wanted people to be able to use the 12 volt in the back seat to charge phones. But if I get an adapter, or if I use this adapter that can have more than one USB access point, then this can connect and you can charge a phone in the back seat as well. So that's how I'm gonna leave it. It also hides the wire a little bit better. I don't usually have people in the back seat, so if they see the wire, not a big deal to me, but I can't see it from the front seat and I can't see it getting in and out of the vehicle, which I really like. I'm gonna go ahead and clean the glass off here, and we're gonna permanently attach this this little sticky to the windshield there. Something quick to note before I go ahead and stick this on: if you were to switch this from vehicle to vehicle, you're gonna need to get more of these sticky things, like if you're getting a new car every couple years, you're gonna need to go out and buy some VHB tape from 3M. They do provide 2 sticky patches for this camera and 2 of these disconnect plates, so you could put it in 2 different vehicles and swap it from vehicle to vehicle, but beyond the point of 2 vehicles, you're gonna need to go ahead and figure out something to keep on reapplying this sticky tape to continue using the camera in a whole bunch of different vehicles. Just something to note. Maybe a camera that attaches with a suction cup would be something more what you're looking for, but in this case with this tape, it's extremely sticky, and this will never fall off your windshield like a suction cup may. With temperature changes and pressure changes in the vehicle, a suction cup could fall off. This is never going to fall off your windshield. Just something quick to note before I go ahead and stick this on. Now to attach this, I'm just going to use a little bit of window cleaner and some paper towel to wipe off any excess dust that's there that will prevent the camera from getting a good stick on the glass. But you can use alcohol wipes or just don't clean it, whatever you like. But I'm going to make sure it gets a really good connection and apply some of this window cleaner before I stick the camera onto the glass here. Now that the window's clean, I'm just going to double check the position of the camera that I want. Right about there. That's looking good. Okay, so now I'm just gonna give that an extra little wipe. I'm gonna apply this sticky tape where I want the camera here. Just keep in mind, you only really get 2 shots at this, and only 1 shot if you plan on using this camera in another vehicle, so just bear that in mind. Don't stick it on super crooked or in a way that you're gonna hate it. So there it is. There's it, the camera mounted up there. Now with this sticky tape, I'm just gonna recommend that you don't try to rip the camera off of its little sticky mount for at least a full day. Let that epoxy, that resin that's in the tape really adhere to the glass before you try to move it around or mess with it. But there we go. That's basically my install. Quickly, I'm just gonna run you guys through where I ran this wire so that you can see it a little bit closer and get a better idea of how I ran the wire through the car. Okay, so starting from the camera, the wire goes up into the headliner, and as you can see, I opted to not use that little cover that will cover up the back of the camera here, just for the sake of making it easier to get the camera out of the car, making it easier to mess with that wire. So the wire goes through the headliner, and then it goes down in behind this A-pillar. From the A-pillar, it feeds through the dash, through this area of the dash, and then up underneath this cover under the steering wheel, which then feeds into here, and then it came back out here. So I ran it along there, tucked it up underneath this trim piece. Now we'll move to the back seat. In the back seat, the wire finally comes out of the trim of the car, where it goes into a USB adapter in the 12 volt. I'll just quickly show you guys the view from the driver's seat. So from the driver's seat, this is basically my view. The camera doesn't really obstruct it. There it is up there. It's up higher than the rear view mirror, which works for me because this isn't gonna bother me at all while I'm driving. And it should get an excellent view from my point of view while I'm driving down the road. Just quickly show you guys what the camera sees. So that's its view out the front of the car, which I think is pretty good. It's gonna be able to see right in front of the car if anything is to happen. And I'm gonna go for a drive a little later, and then I'm also gonna go for a drive at night, and we'll see how the camera does with its footage, and I'll put it in this video, night vision as well as during the day driving, and we'll see how it does.
Talk about that, about having skin in the game and how important it is, just psychologically for people. It seems like if you give people things for free, they just don't appreciate it as much as you know.
So there we have it, guys. There's the footage. I was able to capture a few little incidents on the road, nothing too crazy, but it just goes to show you what you're able to capture when you're recording all the time while you're driving. So I would highly recommend that anyone get a dash cam for their car, just because it just improves your level of just security and knowing that you're not going to get in shit for something that wasn't your fault necessarily on the roads. And it also allows you to capture the occasional funny event on the roadways. So for this dash cam, I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5 stars. It is a good dash cam for the price. It's good quality video for the price. But as far as its mountability is a bit harder than some dash cams, because it does use those little sticky tabs, and also the camera can only move down so far, so I would have liked to see it move a little bit further down. You'll see in one of these clips it kind of got moved upward when I had it off the windshield for a little while, and then when I put it back on I forgot to readjust it. So it'd be nice if it pointed a little further down without needing to be, you know, fully cranked down. Another problem that I found online with this particular dash cam is that when temperatures are below 10 degrees Celsius, the LCD display on this dash cam can suffer damage and stop working. So in the winter months, it's something where you have to remember to take it out of your car if you're expecting the nighttime temperatures to be below -10 degrees Celsius, which is quite cold, but just something to keep in mind if you live in a colder climate. Right now, we've had a cold streak for the last couple weeks, and it would have been something where I would have needed to take it out of the car constantly, like every time I got out of the car. But the temperatures are going back to more seasonal, where it's like -2, -3, so that's fine for the camera, but just something to keep in mind. If you live in a really cold climate, you will need to take the camera out of your car so that you don't end up destroying it. Yeah, 3 out of 5 star isn't perfect, but there are some things that could make it better for the user, such as not needing to worry about it in the cold, and having a little bit more options for mounting the camera. Other than that, the quality is great. The fact that it will automatically record, it turns itself off, turns itself on, it records in looping so that you don't have to worry about filling up your card and having to clear it all off. And the looping is great because you can go back through your day of driving and find anything if you want to take an incident off the camera and save it for later. So that's about it for the Provid 1080p install and review. Go check it out on Amazon. I'll put a link down below. And in the meantime, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Leave a like, leave a comment. Tell us how you liked it. Maybe let me know if you have one, and give me your thoughts on that. So anyways, guys, we'll see you next time.